Okay, on today's episode of How to Get a Ranch Job, we're going to go over the Kubota mower, Zero Turn Mower. I'll kind of go over things that are pretty common amongst a lot of the other ones, John Deere and Cub Cadet and Toro and a bunch of the other main. They're all pretty similar. They all have a different setup, but the principles are always the same. This mower has a parking brake that is actually activated by this pedal as well. So you have to depress it all the way in, and then this, you have to engage this with your foot. It's kind of a pain in the neck. Kubota, not my favorite plan or product, but you know, it cuts grass. So this is the button, or the pedal, we'll call it, to raise and lower the deck. In order to adjust your height on this mower, you have to depress that all the way. It takes the teeth away from the mower deck and allows adjustment. And so when you do, right now, as you can see, I have it set at 2.5. I've been mowing the inside of the round pin. Usually that's really low. Your average mow on a ranch or so is going to be around 3 inches or more. Don't recommend mowing tall grass or brush with these things. They can do it, but especially this model here, they are notorious for overheating and gaskets falling off, apparently. And you can see it pulls in a lot of dry grass and dirt from mowing here on the ranch. All that needs to be blowed out. That's why I didn't clean it beforehand. I wanted you to see. That's unacceptable. That needs to be blowed out, as well as the screen here. There's a bunch of grass down in the front of the radiator. This actual model pulls a ton of grass up in there and overheats all the time. Horrible design. So anyway, we'll put this back on there. The same thing we always do before using something. We want to check everything. We want to check our belts. Obviously you want everything off. Ideally you don't want the key even in the ignition, because you put your fingers down in there and somebody turns the fan blade, this blade right here, it will cut your whatever off. Whatever's in there probably going to come off and cause a lot of damage. Obviously this is our radiator. The mower is cool, so we can actually look at it. You want to see it full. As you can see, it's plumb full. This is also the overflow tube. If it overheats and gets out of hand, this cap is meant to release some fluid. It's like a thermostat, and it will blow by and go down, and you'll see it. It goes down into a little reservoir on this operation, and then it'll go on the ground. And that's a bad day, especially on these Kubotas, because that's their favorite thing to do, is to overheat. So obviously the other thing we do, it's really windy outside, or I would take this outside. But we're going to check the oil. As you can see, it is right. This is the overfull mark. It's right within range. The low bar is down there. So that looks really good. Obviously too, you want to carry a rag with you. Go ahead and wipe that off. Every time, no matter what, I double check. So I clean, no matter what it is, even if it's been sitting, I'll wipe it off and double check, just to make sure that it's not something from when it was running altering our reading. Yep, you can see it's still right there below, but it could use just a smidge. As you can see, it's a little bit on the low side. That would be full to the brim. So we could put a little bit in it theoretically, but she's really good operating range, especially for middle of the winter. And I do use it. Obviously I keep the weeds knocked down and stuff around the ranch all winter as well with it, but not that much. This is where the battery is. Obviously if you need to jump it off, all of them are going to be a little bit different. A lot of them are under the seat or on the off side on the battery. Obviously you have your wheels. When you do grease these, you need to grease. There's a fitting in here, and there's usually a fitting out here. You can see that'll grease the swivels here. The other place that is really important to grease is down here on your all your spindles. There's 3 spindles on these. 2 on the outside are greasable. This one I believe is an oil bath. As you can see, it has an oil bath in here. This is also the dipstick to check this. This is super important because this is where all the wear happens, down here. Obviously we want to inspect the belt. You can see this needs to be cleaned too. This is not acceptable. All this grass needs to be cleaned out after every use. So the guys were just using this the other day. That's why it's covered in dust. Filthy. It's due for a bath and a service, so we're going to do that. The weather was not cooperating that day. And then of course you have your your throttle here. When you do start it, you'll put your key in the ignition here and go to the glow plug sign. That'll let the glow plugs warm everything up inside the engine. Diesels need that. You wait until the light turns off, and then you continue cranking all the way. These brand new ones will fire all the way. That's what this is. When this light turns off, you turn the key all the way. Okay, and then I always let it warm up too. So I keep it low. Turtle obviously means slow. Rabbit means fast, for those special children listening. And this is your clutch to engage your blades that make them spin. You can see it has a gear. It's like a PTO, power takeoff, is what that is called in a technical term. And then of course here we have your engine hours. 60 hours is all on this little thing. But anyway, that's that to that part. When you're operating, another thing that's super important, especially while operating a Kubota, is your fuel level. Okay, we have low oil pressure and a battery code because it's not running. We're going to initiate the glow plugs until that light turns off. That will tell us when it's ready to start. I messed up earlier, so we're going to do this correctly for the love of God. And she's pretty cold, as you can tell. When that turns off, that means the glowing's done. So that's why it's so important to do this, because diesel ignites by pressure and heat. And if it doesn't have that, it's not like gas. Gas is ignited by a spark plug or basically a little fire. So, and that, okay, fired right up. So anyway, I always store the key off-site. It depends on the ranch you're at. I'm not telling you all this stuff and thinking that you're going to go every place is going to do things and talk about things the way that I do. So ask a lot of good questions and pay attention too. People really like it when you pay attention and don't make everything about you and ask all the questions. Ops are really important to observe and keep your mouth shut, especially when you're young and you're learning. There's so much to be watched, especially if you ask some short, polite questions and then you're observant and you're not standing around with your fingers on your phone, ignoring everybody. So, but anyway, I hope this helped. We're going to go through pretty much everything on the ranch and preparation. We're going to talk about interviewing, what you should dress like, how you should talk, what your resume needs to look like. So we'll be going on to the next one. I think the next thing that we're going to work on is weed eating. Since we've done the mower, we're going to learn how to operate it, load the weeder head. These are things that, you know, if you watch these videos and then you go and do some of that stuff, or if you try to go do stuff, you can actually tell people you have experience doing that. You know, help somebody out, help the neighbor out on the weekend, run the weed eater, help him mow, you know, make something happen. It's all surrounding us. It's all tools that these people out there, they want, you know. And you may not go work at the Yellowstone Ranch if that's your dream, but you can get somewhere close to it, somewhere with animals, somewhere that is not an apartment or living in the city somewhere. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Stick around for more. Thank you.